Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you all are good. My name is Nitish and I'm a consultant trainer at Sankhyana Consultancy Service from the last 4 years. Okay, so today, before that, we will discuss about the Sankhyana first. So, Sankhyana is an IT firm which provide you the consulting, analytic, training, uh, training to the student and professional from the last 8 years. Okay, so today in this webinar session we are going to discuss on the topic role of data science in e-commerce industry. Okay, so as you know, the data science and the machine learning application can help the e-commerce to increase the sales through the personalized recommendation list, right? Dynamic pricing, customer behavior forecasting. Okay, so this model can be used individually or in combination to address the various business objectives. They are also used effectively by the e-commerce business for the marketing and operational goal. And data science in the e-commerce allow the company to collect, analyze, apply the valuable information for improving the sales and marketing process. Artificial intelligence model for the e-commerce include the recommendation system, pricing algorithm, predictable customer segmentation, personalized product image search, and the AI chatbot. So this model can apply as a single solution, or you can say in a combination to solve the different business needs. E-commerce companies are successfully using them for marketing and the business objective. And the data science in transforming and data science, right? It is transforming and benefiting the e-commerce business immensely. Here the experts are constantly trying to find the innovative ways to leverage the data collected, and the data science technology are deriving the phenomenal growth of the global e-commerce industries. Okay, so today in this session we are going to discuss about the what is data science, what is the life cycle of the data science, after that what is the importance, okay, what is the importance of data science in the e-commerce industry, and the last we will discuss about the predictive analytic in e-commerce industries. Okay, now what is data science? Okay, so data science, when I am talking about the definition and its field, okay, so data science is an interdisciplinary, or you can say multidisciplinary field that uses the scientific inferences and the mathematical algorithm to extract the meaningful knowledge and insight from the large amount of data of structured and unstructured data. Okay, so here the data science is such a field which can be applied to almost every industry to solve the complex problem, and every company applies the data science to a different application with the view of solving the different problem. So some of the company like such as you can say the Google, Spotify, Waymo, right, and Google Assistants and the YouTube, they are completely dependent upon the data science and the machine learning technique to solve the certain set of the problem. If not, so they could not have been solved, right? So data science is the domain of the study that deals with the vast volume of data using the modern tools and the technique to find the unseen pattern and to derive the meaningful information and to make the business decision. Okay, so data science uses the complex machine learning algorithm to build the predictive model, and the data used for the analysis can come from many different sources and presented in the various formats. Okay, so data science can be defined as the entire process of gathering actionable insight from the raw data that involve the various concepts that include statistical analysis, data analysis, machine learning algorithm, data modeling, and pre-processing of the data. Okay, now So what is the life cycle of the data science? So the life cycle of the data science is that is formulating the business problem. After that, we have the solution for the business problem, right? Then gathering the actionable insight. After that, we have the data modeling, data pre-processing, and sorry. So here that is formulating a business problem, right? And after that we have the data extraction, transformation, and the loading. Then we perform the data pre-processing. Okay. After that we perform the data modeling, right? And then we have the gathering the actionable insight, and then we have here the solution for the business problem. Okay. So earlier I was going wrong, but now it is correct. Now, so let us start with the formulating the business problem. What does it mean? Any data science problem will start their journey from the formulating the business problem, right? And here the business problem explains the issue that may be fixed with the insight gathered from an efficient data science solution. A simple example of the business problem is, suppose you have past 1 year sales data for the retail store. So using the machine learning approaches, right, you have to predict or forecast the sales for the next 3 months. That will help to the store to create an inventory, and that will help in reducing the wastage of the product that have the lesser shelf life than the other product. Okay. Next we have the data extraction, transformation, and loading. Okay. So here this next step in the data science life cycle is to create the data pipeline where the relevant data is extracted from the source, and then it is transformed to the machine readable format, and then the data is loaded into the program, or you can say the machine learning pipeline, to get the thing started. Okay. For example, I can say like that, to forecast the sales, okay, we will need the data from the store that will be useful for formulating an efficient machine learning model. So keeping this in mind, right, we would create the separate data point that may or may not be affecting the sales for that particular store. Now the third we have, that is data pre-processing. Okay. So the third step is where the magic happens. Okay. So using the statistical analysis, exploratory data analysis, data wrangling, and you can say the manipulation, we will create the meaningful data, and the pre-processing is done to assess the various data points and formulate the hypothesis that best explain the relationship between the various features in the data. For example, if I say the store sale problem will require the data to be in a time series format, that is to be able to forecast the sales, right? So here the hypothesis testing, will test the stationary of the series and computation that will show the various trend, seasonality, and the other relationship pattern in the data. Okay. Now the next we have the data modeling. So this step involves the advanced machine learning concept that will be used for the feature selection, feature transformation, standardization of the data, and the data normalization. Okay. So here we choose the best algorithm based on the evidence from the above step, right? Like we have the formulating the business problem, data extraction and transformation, loading, and the data pre-processing, right? So this step will help us to create the model, and that will efficiently help to create the forecast. Okay. For example, I say we can use here the time series forecasting approach for the business problem, where the presence of the high dimensional data could be the case. So here we can use the various dimensionality reduction technique, and we can create a forecasting model using the AR model, MA model, ARIMA model, that is ARIMA model. Okay. And we can forecast the sales for the next quarter. Okay. Now After that, we have the gathering the actionable insight. So here the final step from the data science life cycle is the gathering the insight from the stated problem statement. Okay, so here we will create the inferences and finding from the entire process that would best explain the business problem. For example, the time series model, right? So here we will get the monthly and the weekly sales for the next 3 months, and this insight will in turn help the professional to create the strategy plan to overcome the problem at the hand. Now, next we have the solution for the business problem. So the solution for the business problem are nothing but you can say the actionable insight that will solve the problem using the evidence-based information, right? For example, I say like that. Suppose our forecast from the time series model will give an efficient estimate for the store sales in the next 3 months. So using those insights, right, the store can plan their inventory to reduce the wastage of the perishable goods. Okay. Now the next we are going to discuss about the importance of data science in the e-commerce industry. Okay. So the importance of data, right? So before talking about the importance of data science in the e-commerce industry, okay. So today the importance of this data, right? Data in the today's world has reached to the new height, where the company are totally dependent upon the data set to understand the performance and the business decision. Okay, so here the data analysis is relevant in the e-commerce and the retail industry. Okay, and they can predict the purchase profit and the losses and even manipulate the customer into buying the thing by tracking their behavior. So retail brands analyze the data to create the customer profile and learn some point and market their product accordingly to push the customer toward the purchasing. Okay. Now, so first importance of your data science in the e-commerce is the recommendation engine. Okay. So this recommendation engine, this is a great help for your online retailer for predicting the customer behavior. Okay, and there are some popular recommendation techniques such as you can say collaborative filtering, where we perform the recommendation that will be based on the collected data about the user activity. Second, we have the content based filtering. Okay, that is your recommendation based on the user profile, and we have the hybrid recommendation filtering also. Here the combination of the two filtering method mentioned. Okay. So here the engine are made up of the complex machine learning component and the deep learning algorithm, and they are designed in such a way that they can keep a track record of every customer online behavior and analyze the pattern to suggest the source based on this data. So you may have heard about the Amazon and Netflix. Both this e-commerce company uses the search recommendation engine. Okay, now you will be thinking, right, how do they do this, right? So well, that is simple. So here the engine are made up of the complex machine learning component and the deep learning algorithm, and they are designed in such a way that they can help a track record of every customer online behavior and analyze the pattern to suggest the source based on this data. So that's why, right, every time Netflix recommends the movies or the TV series to you, and it probably something you are going to watch, right? So the same thing work with the Amazon too. Based on your past searches and purchase history, Amazon provides the recommendation and discount on them as well. So okay. So this whole process, right, it involved a great deal of data filtering and analyzing by machine learning algorithm. Now the next we have the market basket analysis. Okay. Now, the next we have the warranty analytic. Okay. Sorry. So what is warranty analytic? So warranty is an commitment that a manufacturer gives when you buy something from them. That is, if some kind of the problem arises in the product within the warranty period, it can be replaced by the spare parts without costing a single penny. Right? So here the retailer and the manufacturer keep a check upon how many units have been sold, among them how many of them have been returned due to the issues. So they also concentrate on detecting the anomalies in the warranty claim, and it is an excellent way for retailer to turn the warranty challenges into the actionable insight. And here data mining and the text mining are the two techniques that are used as a tool in this model for identifying the claim pattern and problem area of the product, where the data are converted into the real-time plans and recommendation. So here the warranty data analytics help the retailer and the manufacturer to keep a check on their product and its lifetime, problem and returns, and even to keep a check on any fraudulent activity also. So here the warranty data analysis depend upon the estimation of the failure distribution that is based on the data, which include the age and the number of the return and the age and the number of surviving the unit in the field. So here the retailer and the manufacturer keep the check upon the how many units have been sold, and among them how many have been returned due to the issue. So they also concentrate on detecting the anomalies in the warranty claim, and this is an excellent way for the retailer to turn the warranty challenge into the actionable insight. Now the next we have the inventory management. Okay, so here the inventory refer to stocking of the goods, okay, and stocking of the goods for the later use in the times of crisis. So here the inventory management play a crucial role for the business to optimize the resources and increase the sales. Here the retailer needs to manage the inventory effectively so that even if there is a sudden spike in the sales, okay, there is sudden spikes in the sales, right, supply remains unaffected. So in order to achieve that, the stock and supply chain are thoroughly analyzed. Now, so here the powerful machine learning algorithm analyze the data between the element and the supply in the great detail and detect the pattern and the correlation among the purchases. Okay, so here the analyst then analyze this data and comes with the strategy to increase the sales and confirm timely delivery and manage the inventory stock. Right now, next we have here the location of the new stores. Right now, so location analysis is an important part of the data analytics, and before a business can decide where to open up their business, it is crucial to analyze the plausible business location to settle one of the best one. So here the algorithm used in the case is simple and effective, and the analyst analyze the data by giving the importance to the demographic, and the coincidence in the zip code and the location give a basis for understanding the potential of the market, and the competitor market are also taken into the consideration while analyzing the location. So here the algorithm also analyze the retailer network to come up with the most suitable action. Now the next we have customer sentiment analysis. Okay, so here the customer sentiment analysis has been around in the business world for a long time, but now the machine learning algorithm help to simplify, automate and save a lot of time with giving the accurate result. So social media is the most readily and easily available tool for an analyst to perform the customer sentiment analysis, and he uses the language processing to identify the word bearing a negative or the positive attitude of the customer toward the brand, and this feedback help the business to improve their product. Now the next we have the merchandising. Okay, so this merchandising is an essential part of any retail business. Okay, and the idea is to come up with the strategies that increase the sales and the promotion of the product. So here the merchandising intend to influence the customer decision making via the visual channel, and while attractive packaging and branding the retail customer attention and enhance the visual appearance, rotating the merchandise help to keep the assortment fresh and new. Okay, so merchandising algorithm go through the data set and picking up the insight and forming the priority set of the customer, taking into the account seasonality, relevancy and the trends. Now the next we have the lifetime prediction. So in retail, customer lifetime value is the most value of the customer's profit to the company over the entire customer business relationship. So here the particular attention is paid to the revenue as far as they are not predictable by the cost. So by evaluating the direct purchase, business can understand the two significant customer lifetime methodologies, historical and predictive. So all the forecasts that are made on the past data leading up to the most recent transaction, and usually the algorithm collect, classify and clean the data concerning customer preferences, expense and the recent purchase and the behavior of an input. So after the data is processed, a linear presentation of the possible value of the existing and possible customer is received, and this algorithm also spot the interdependencies between the customer characteristics and their choices. Now the last we have improvisation of the personalized customer service. Now so here the improved customer service can be used to personalize the service for the customer facing the difficulties and who might need a recommendation service. So it is about satisfying the customer with what they actually need. So here the NLP involve the communication through speech and text that may be voice based bot, or you can say chatbot also. So it also help in extracting the online rating and review and convert them into the data and store it in the database for the future use. Now the next okay, now let us go to the next slide. Now the next we have to discuss the predicting the analytic in e-commerce industries. Okay, so here the predictive analytic is used to extract the information from the existing data set to make the precise prediction of the future event using the sciences of the advanced analytics. Okay, so here the main technique that are used are artificial intelligence, machine learning, data mining, statistical algorithm, modeling. So here the algorithm used will generate a forecast of what might occur in the future with the high degree of reliability. So here the prediction may also include what if scenario analysis like Monte Carlo analysis does, and it also helps you to risk assessment result. Okay, so predictive analysis has been revolutionizing the e-commerce industry with its predictive customer analytic capability. Now with the emergence of the big data, Okay, it is easily affordable and easily implementable predictive analytics solution that are easily available in the market. Now the first one, finding the best channel of contact. Okay, so predictive analytics can help you to reach the target prospect using the best channel possible, and here the demographic data, like you can say the age, gender, income, family and location, are collected along with the past successful event like opened mail, clicked ad and unpurchased product in the cart. So this data is then fed into the AI based predictive algorithm to identify the best way to attract and retain the customer. Now the next we have the finding the prospect with the high propensity, right? So here the propensity modeling is the well searched or well researched topic under the data science and the analytics today. So many artificial intelligence predictive analytics services are already giving the propensity modeling as a service to find the prospective buyer with buying the chances. Okay, so this model studies the feature of the customer to calculate the buying and the non-buying probability, and it also helps you to identify the potential buyer who make a high likelihood of buying your product, and the better deal can be offered to these prospects that increase the probability of conversion. Okay, now the next we have predicting customer propensity. So the initial paper for the customer propensity or paper on the propensity modeling were published in 1983, and since then this part of the predictive analytics has grown. So here the propensity modeling is all about predicting whether the visitor leads will perform the specific action or not. So here the customer propensity is determined by monitoring the real-time action being performed by the customer on the website or mobile app. Okay, so this is basically done to extract the information from the customer engagement and use that information to sell the product. Now next we have the product recommendation system, a system that filters out the product that current user is likely to buy is a big boon to the e-commerce industry. So for the seller, right, here the product recommendation system is all that they need, because all the visitors are quickly going to be converted to the sales. So for the buyer, right, they get to see what they need in the first screen itself, and they will not have a dig deep into the website. A sound product recommendation system based on the predictive analytic algorithm create a win-win situation for the buyer and seller. Okay, so here the recommendation system also help to implement the marketing concept of the cross-selling and the upselling, and that will help you to increase the sales. Okay, now predicting the customer lifetime value. Okay, so here the customer lifetime value is the discounted value of the future profit that is generated by the customer. Okay, so here the customer generates the revenue for the company in a different ways, and the direct purchase is a source of direct income for the company, and there may also be the indirect revenue generated when the customer refer to your company product to his friend and they make a purchase. Okay, at that point in the time, right, here the customer lifetime value is analyzed by the prediction algorithm using the historic CLV trend. Okay, now the last we have the predicting the intent of contact. Okay, so a predictive analytics solution can identify the intent of a customer when we contact a business, right? So this is one of the most complex part of your predictive analytics that involve the customer life cycle and acquiring the customer data. So analytics solution may also take the customer loyalty by throwing test cases at the customer to discover and understand the response pattern. right? And another side of this is to identifying the dissatisfied customer and uncovering the pattern. And the intent of the analysis help us to provide the right level of the customer service to the deserving customer, so thereby increasing the customer satisfaction. Okay, so the intent prediction give us the right to the another form of marketing, that is called the intent marketing. Okay, where the intent of the customer is analyzed from all the transactions, right? So this is all about the today's session. So thank you everyone for joining the session today, and have a good day.